Welcome to part 2 of how to feed your Brown Bess. In part 1, we learned how to make the lead balls. In part 2, we're going to learn how to make the paper cartridges. Stay tuned. Okay, welcome to part 2, where we're going to cover how to roll a paper cartridge for the 75 caliber Brown Bess. I've cut a template here from a piece of cardboard. This is for a 69 caliber ball, which would be a traditional load. It's 6 inches tall, 5.5 inches long, 2.5 inches on the short side, 6 3/4 inches on the top, and will give us the perfect diameter to make a 69 caliber ball somewhat snug in a 75 caliber bore. We'll need the following supplies. We'll need a powder measure, a way to safely dispense our powder, of course our powder. In this case I'm using GoX black powder, double FG. We'll need a glue stick. We'll need a wooden dowel that's approximately 69 caliber in diameter. We'll need some paper. And of course we can't forget the lead balls that we made in video number 1. Okay, let's get right into it. Using your template, you'll cut out squares of paper that match the template. Now the type of paper that you use isn't as important as the fact that once it's rolled, it still needs to fit in the bore. If the paper's too thick or you have too many wraps, it will be too tight and it won't fit into the barrel. Once you've used your template to cut out your pieces of paper, and in this case I used an old book. In keeping with tradition, they would pretty much use any paper they could get their hands on. We'll get started. Lay your paper out on a table. Using your glue stick, draw a line of glue on both of the long edges on the paper. Now keep in mind, this isn't traditional. Traditionally, these cartridges would be tied with string once they were rolled. I like to use the glue. Next, we're going to take our wooden dowel and one of the round balls, and we're going to lay them on the paper approximately 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch from the edge of the paper. Once we've laid that on there, we're going to take the paper and as tight as we can, we're going to start to wrap it around the dowel as we roll it up. Sometimes you may need a little spot of glue on the very tip if you missed it the first time. Once you've got that wrapped firmly around the dowel, what I like to do is just pinch in the end of the paper and twist it in the same direction as the wrap so that we wind up with a little point on the end. Now you can also take and press that on the table to kind of flatten it down. Once you've done that, remove the wooden dowel. Once you've done that, we can prepare our powder. I'm using about 90 grains of powder. A traditional load would have been between 100 and 110 grains. However, traditionally, the gun was primed from the cartridge. I intend to prime the gun from the flask instead of from the cartridge. So I've reduced the powder charge to compensate for that. Once you have your powder charge measured carefully, go ahead and add it into the paper tube. Make sure that it all went in there. The next step will be just above where the powder ends. we're going to squeeze the paper tube shut and crease it to the ends. So that we wind up with a flat tail on the cartridge. Next, we're going to fold that tail over like this, and we're going to roll the edges back onto themselves so that it looks like that. Once we've done that, we're going to take the tail and we're going to fold it back over to the other side of the cartridge, making sure that everything's nice and tight. And there you have it. One cartridge ready to go. Let's make another one. Again, we're going to take our piece of paper, we're going to lay it on the table, we're going to draw a line on the edges with the glue stick, take our ball and our dowel, lay them on the paper about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch from the edge, and we're going to roll this as tightly as we can. Just like so. Again, once we've rolled it up, we're going to take and twist the end in the same direction as we rolled the paper so that it doesn't try to unravel on us. Press the end on the table to make it nice and tight. Extract the stick. Prepare our powder charge. Add our powder charge into the paper tube. Right above where the powder ends, we're going to pinch off the tube and flatten the paper. We're going to fold that over and roll in the edges. And then fold the tail back over the other side of the case. There you have it. Now that we've got everything made, it's time to head to the range. Thanks for watching. Remember to click like and subscribe so you don't miss part 3. As always, have a nice day.